Sehr gut. Also, bis dann.
So, 5 Minuten haben wir noch. Sensationell. Ah.
Ja, grüß Gott, meine sehr geehrten Damen und Herren. Ich darf Sie wieder einmal begrüßen hier zu einem Livestream der Volkshochschule Vaterstetten. Wir sind im Konzertsaal der Musikschule und ich begrüße heute Abend nicht nur den Alexander Bestle, der hier neben mir sitzt. Und ich muss mal kurz hier mein Mikro ausschalten. Zu einem Livestream der Volkshochschule Vaterstetten. Und dann begrüße ich noch unsere Zuschauer hier im Studio und unsere vielen, vielen Gäste, die zugeschaltet sind. Die können Sie jetzt schon sehen. Wir haben heute Gäste aus Schweden, wir haben Gäste aus Deutschland und wir haben vielleicht noch bald Gäste aus Äthiopien. Aber da sind wir noch am Verbindungsaufbau. Warum machen wir das heute Abend? Das ist die Abschlussveranstaltung zu unserem Projekt Entwicklungszusammenarbeit, was wir Corona-bedingt verschieben mussten, wie so vieles, aber dann am 12.05.2021 gestartet haben. Und der Alex Bestle hat sich in dieses Abenteuer gestürzt als unser Kursleiter, Workshopleiter. Es ist ein Projekt, was gefördert ist vom Deutschen Volkshochschulverband und was sehr umfangreich war. Der Alex hat mehrere Workshops veranstaltet mit unseren äthiopischen Freunden, mit deutschen Freunden. Und der wird gleich darüber berichten, was rausgekommen ist. Wir haben die Zuschaltungen da. Und wir werden auch gleich in die englische Sprache wechseln. Ich habe jetzt die Ansprache noch in Deutsch gemacht. Hoffe, dass unsere äthiopischen Freunde sich jetzt noch dazuschalten können. Das sieht gerade ganz gut aus und wünsche uns allen einen interessanten Abend. Ich habe auch im Blick unser Zuschauerportal. Also Sie können über den YouTube-Kanal können Sie uns Fragen ins Studio schicken. Die werde ich dann dem Alex weitergeben und wir werden versuchen, die zu beantworten. Und ich wünsche uns allen einen interessanten Abend. Stellen Sie Fragen. Auch hier im Studio dürfen gerne Fragen gestellt werden. Und jetzt übergebe ich an den Alex. Und bitte.
Danke, Helmut, für deine Einführung. I immediately change into English, but some Amharic words before. Endemen ameshacho, good evening. Engwan dename tacho, welcome. I'm happy that you're all here. The participants of our discussion tonight and also the people here in the room, we can count with one hand, but I hope some of you are out there following us on YouTube. As Helmut already mentioned, we had a half-year workshop last year, online workshop, and I think for the VHS Vaterstetten, it was a world premiere because we had the first time we had people from Germany, from Vaterstetten and other places in Germany, and people from Ethiopia together in one workshop, learning together. And I think this is this really is global learning and global education, and our main focus or our object was entrepreneurship, and the question was if entrepreneurship is the future of development work. And we started in May with a discussion with some development and entrepreneurship experts. This was more or less theoretic round. And then we had 8 sessions together, the people from Germany and Ethiopia, from Vaterstetten and Alem Katema, talking together about how we can foster entrepreneurship in Alem Katema. And also we invited experts from Ethiopia, from Addis and from Alem Katema, who shared our experience, who gave their experience to us. So now we have little sounds from Ethiopia. Maybe the line is somehow shaky, and we will have some problems tonight, like in May with the sound. I think But I think we have 1.5 hours now talking about what we did in frame of the workshop in the 8 sessions, and give you out there who did not participate an impression about the entrepreneurial situation and the entrepreneurial environment in Alem Katema and what Vaterstetten and the people of Vaterstetten trying to do there. Demeke, who is in Sweden, a little plea to you. Please mute yourself if you're talking. Here I want to introduce our little or big panel, but also this is a world premiere with people from Alem Katema, and I try to I will start with the people from Alem Katema. We see here still walking Abebo Berhanu. The name here is Galaxy Tab. Yeah, he's he started as a permanent secretary for the partnership committee in Vaterstetten in November. But he is not a newcomer in our organization, nor a newcomer in the development work of Alem Katema. I will come back to this later in relation to Joachim. And we have here Desalen Wondimne, who is our partnership secretary in Alem Katema for now, I think, more than 8 years, since 2014. And we have here, the name is Testem. He is Demeke Afawork, now who is now in Sweden. He's entrepreneurship trainer from Addis, who also was part of our workshop and who worked for us and the partnership committee and for different other projects in Alem Katema for several years right now. I changed to the German participants. Start with Friederike Klesper, who is a textile specialist. As her experience or her profession is in interior design, or maybe she can explain later on, but with very high interest in development work and in textile projects. And we had several trips together to Alem Katema, doing the textile and weaving project there. And then we have Joachim Wiesmüller, who was recently elected of the vice chairman of the partnership association here in Vaterstetten. Formerly served as a board member, but he has a high experience in the development work and creating entrepreneurship in Alem Katema in frame of another association which is called Die Ofenmacher. They're distributing smoke-free stovens all over Alem Katema and Merhabete, and I think they already set up more than 3,000 stoven there. And there is, and I said I come back later, Abebo, who started as a secretary for the partnership in Alem Katema, is also the country manager for Ofenmacher and has a highly experienced in fostering entrepreneurship in Alem Katema and Merabete. So this is the panel for tonight. I think right now I got a phone call from Alem Katema because Desalen dropped out of our call. I have to look at it. If it was him. Maybe someone can call him back and help him in, because we need him. Sorry, this is live, yeah. And I hand it over to Helmut. Maybe he's successful with bringing in Desalim. So what we did, we had 8 sessions in frame of our workshop, and a short introduction, maybe what we did in Alem Katema over the recent years. We had an entrepreneurship project at the vocational school for 3 years, funded by the German government, with entrepreneurship workshops, also with some special business creating, for example, creating internet cafe, or setting up a construction workshop, which created terrazzo stones. It means special stones for the floor, and so on. And then we special focused starting in 2018 on the area of textile and weaving. And we had 2 projects there. One of the Association of Seed, bringing weavers and tailors together, producing new ideas and new products also for the foreign market. And then a project of the Partnership Association only for weavers, and we had 40 weavers in that project, with learning to produce on new looms, new production and new techniques. And these were the special things in the field of textile. So, and our workshop started right after these projects ended. And we have a special situation there in Alem Katema. Alem Katema grow very heavily over the last 25 years. We started our partnership there in 1994, and some 4,000 or 5,000 people were living there. Now we have 30,000 people living there, and the majority of them is under 15, and especially they're pretty much jobless young people, but the employment rate is very, very low, and there are not enough employers. So the idea is how we can get the people more or less self-employed. So the people, how can we get the people to become entrepreneurs? And now I will want to hand over, maybe, hopefully, we have Abebo or Demeke, who can tell us a little bit about the special situation of entrepreneurship in Alem Katema, because this is something the people from there have to explain, not we. So maybe Abebo, are you there? Can you hear us? Or Deme, if you hear us. What are the special problems, what you can see there with unemployment first, and secondly with entrepreneurship, and that the young people become entrepreneurs?
I think let's give the chance for Ababo, because he has the recent information, and I have been 5 months away from, not 5 months only, almost more than 2 years, 1.5 years from Alem Katema. So let's give the chance to Ababo, then I will continue. Unmute.
Abibo, unmute. You have to unmute your micro.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Isama.
Okay. First of all, good afternoon, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. Okay. I'm not in a good room because of internet connection. I'm trying to find a better way to reach to you. I hope our agenda will be entrepreneurship problems or obstacles in Alem Katema in general. Hello.
Yes, please. Abibo, continue.
Hello.
Can you? Do you hear us? Can you describe?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay.
I don't know.
Please.
عارف انه قتل كل نقر يتسمع له عارف انه.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as you know, the entrepreneur problem in Alem Katema is great. It's not a simple things issue for creating a real entrepreneur in Alem Katema. It's a lot of obstacles. Of course, we do have a lot of potentials, but it's impossible. Not impossible. It's difficult to get successful entrepreneur. Maybe I don't know. The problem is maybe skill or maybe the situation is the national situation because of inflation, because of different policies, or maybe in any case, entrepreneur is not easy thing in Alem Katema. If it was easy, we will be successful in many streams. I think the Nakupa projects and some seed projects. Still, there is struggle to continue entrepreneurs in a stable way. And most of the entrepreneur was organized as an association. Making an association by itself, it has its own problem. Even if there is its own problem, but there was no attractive situation in entrepreneur in Alem Katema. I was not happy by the entrepreneur done in Alem Katema because the Nakupa plan, a lot of things, seed plan, a lot of things, and the other projects plan a lot of ample resourceful trainings and so on. But at the end, the result is not successful. Was not successful in general. So I hope the problem from both sides, from the entrepreneur himself or herself, and then from the local situation in Alem Katema, because of market inaccessibility. As you know, there is no easy access to reach to the main road. The Alem Katema, of course, is not far from the center at this, but the road is not attractive or it's not easy to reach. Maybe buyers, they can't reach to the area, or maybe the local people themselves, they are not ready to use the local products. Even there is quality issue even in terrazzo buildings. Later, for example, in the beginning it was very nice, but finally I think it's maybe lack of skill or maybe lack of integration. people make some people raising some problems. It's not good, like when they plastering the wall, finally it cracks and so on. So most of the entrepreneur, they want to stuck in their traditional way of activity, like for example in the weavers. This is the modern weaving, the semi-automatic weavers machine is better than the manual, the traditional manual, but they are not ready to use it. I don't know, maybe from a problem come from the, it's awareness.
Okay.
So in general, entrepreneur in Alem Katema is not active. It needs more effort to be realistic.
Okay, Abebo, thank you for your experience about that. And the last point you were mentioning is very interesting, because we also tried to bring new things, new techniques, new machines, and not everything was accepted. Demeke was our entrepreneurship trainer, so he didn't give the skill training on the looms, yeah, but he also worked together with the weavers and the tailors. So Demeke, give us your short experience about maybe the entrepreneurial mindset in Alem Katema.
Thank you very much, and I think, sorry, I have had COVID for the last 2 weeks, and so that's a problem with my voice. So I'm sorry for that. Anyways, Alem Katema is not exceptional to other towns in Ethiopia. So every situation in Ethiopia is almost similar, no matter how this is Alem Katema or not. So I have been working there for almost more than 3 years, and I have seen so many things. Like, I like the motivation and the interest and the desire that the users really wants to change their lives. And this is a very important issue for everyone who wants to intervene there to change the lives of these users. But the problem still lies on the institutions and the community, because everyone should be entrepreneur in terms of spirit, in order to understand even the use and importance of entrepreneurship, so that it should be, considered as a big value in the community, so that everyone, supports anyone who starts his or her own business. But still, there is some kind of problem among the users, in the community, plus in the institution. They have started, we have a good role model there. The terrazzo business, the first terrazzo business was a good role model. They were making big profit. I know that, and I was calculating the profit, no matter how they are mismanaging it. And they were still, last time one of the members asked me Facebook friendship for the continuous help, because they want to, last time when I was even in Ethiopia, they were calling me to show them to buy another mold for the terrazzo, because they were trying to change the product. They were saying, they were telling me that such products are no more needed in the community, but the community needs these products, but we need to have this that kind of mold. So they were asking me to show them the store which sells this mold, and I was trying to locate them since I was out of Addis, I was trying to locate them to how to get it, but I don't know whether they had it, they have it or not right now. So they were trying to get someone who really wants to help them, but still, I don't know. But they didn't get anyone. So that is a problem. That's a problem. I know they are trying to grow. They have some assets now. They have some assets now. I don't know the second group, because I was not involved in the second group because I was not recruiting them. But I gave them motivational training, but I was not involved in the second group. The first group, still they are working, I think, but there is a big obstacle for them. You know, the price of cement in Ethiopia now, it is almost not only doubled, but 400% went up. So this is a big problem for equality and for some other issues. So in this case, since they are in short of knowledge, creativity, there should be someone besides them to help and guide them how to cope up with such problems. So we cannot blame them. There are so many motivations and desires. Still, they are just persisting. They are surviving. So I think blaming. I cannot blame them totally. Because I know how they are just trying to cope up with such challenging problems. For the textile, during the training time, it was motivational training and life skill training, plus some finance and marketing related issues were raised. So they were during the training week, they usually are happy. They see some light, then green light and hope. But still, no one is around. They say that they usually complain that there is some unclear things going on among themselves, and they want someone to show them how to link the market linkage, how to sell it, how to improve the quality, and so on. They need really consistent and polite help and guidance from expert or anyone from there. But still, there is a kind of mistrust. They don't want to trust anyone from there. So, again, I cannot blame them. They are students. They are expecting from us. They need guidance. They need consistent follow-up. So we cannot bring any behavioral change within a single night, within a single week. They need consistent follow-up until they are changed in terms of behaviors and attitudes. So the problem is, we start something and it will go for some time and it stops there. So we cannot bring a behavioral change like that. Definitely, there is entrepreneur mindset problem there. That's why we Ethiopians are poor. We are living, because that's why we are living the life like this. So we know all of us have attitudinal problems. But unless we solve it, and unless we have a consistent follow-up and a consistent effort to change and to help them to become a full-scale entrepreneur, and we cannot blame them. So that's the problem. So we cannot bring behavioral change at once in a single week. It is like hot iron. For that training week, they become hot, and they will be allowed to talk and to explain what is in their mind, their complaints and their happiness and everything. They will be happy, but at the end of the training, when they go back to the real situation, then things change. So they need, I think, consistent follow-up
Thank you.
guidance and management, and I don't know.
Thank you, Demi.
Otherwise,
Thank you for that, because it brings me to the kernel of our question. Yeah, if entrepreneurship also is something for development agencies, if we can go inside and help there, because here you would say why an entrepreneur needs help from a development agency. Yeah, and I think what you're mentioning right now, this constant work on mental things is not something which can financed by a normal enterprise, or because when I went in some years ago, I think, we can bring them a little bit of knowledge and they can handle it by themselves. There are people who can do that, but my perception is most of need a little bit more motivation, pushing, management, leadership, some ideas, and follow up. And I think we come to that later on. Desalin, do you hear us at the moment? Are you here? Because we saw you sometimes. Do you hear us? Can you talk? Because the next question would be to you, if you are there. Desalin? Otherwise, I have to give it to Abibo or Demeke. So and you see, and all the audience can see, we are very critical what we do there, and we don't hide away with problems we have there. But on the other side, there is not only some. There are plenty of positive impact. Maybe Deme or Abebo, maybe you can describe what the result or the impact of our projects was until now. This would be a question to Desalin. He wrote me some lines before, but he's not available. But if he's showing up, he can take over. Maybe the others?
Can I start?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Of course, I agree with the Mega's idea, but of course, I don't want to blame anybody, but I want to try to criticize positively to enhance their productivity. So when you talk about the Terrazzo product of the association, which is organized on Terrazzo, I know the first group and the second group. Of course, the first group, from my point of view, is better than the second group in general. They are, I can say, they are industriousness, or they are strong for work, and they can fit for physical as well as skill activities. And the second group, they are not similar like that. Most of them, they are addicted, and most of them, they are town people or town boys, and they are not, what can I say? They are not committed to take their responsibilities, and like that. From my point of view, I can say, like, frankly speaking, because even there is some unnecessary relation in last week. I heard from one of the member of the first Terrazzo group. He was complaining about some materials for activities and like that. They are not good in material management and so on, tools management. So, of course, the entrepreneur himself or herself, they have their own share problem, management gap. That means management, in a sense, managing their business. Of course, it's part of skill. Maybe it's part of administration. So when they get, the Mega told us they got a good profit in the beginning, and then maybe they are not ready to save it until they got a lot of or ample profit. So now, of course, the price for cement is nearly 800 ETB. Yeah, it was 250 up to 300 ETB before. So 3 times and more than 3 times and 4 times the price for cement. Of course, it's an obstacle for terrazzo production. But I hope they need skillful manager. That means skillful manager, in a sense, it's under quotation, skillful. From any corner, maybe there is a problem from the bureaucrats, a problem from the customer, problem from their what you call it, colleagues, or maybe another entrepreneur doing similar activities. If they meet these kinds of problem, they must resolve it wisely. So they have lack of managerial skill. They easily disturbed by the situation. And then another thing is
Now
they are not
a little bit. I'm hearing now.
what?
Continue, please.
Hello?
Continue.
Okay, let me try still.
Okay, now we hear Desalin. Sorry, Abebo. Desalin, we hear you.
Yes.
You're here. Thank you. Oh,
Okay.
finally.
Me too.
This is
Me
live,
too.
and now all our audience know what our problems was during the half year. We did the 8 workshops, but we tried hard, and finally we were successful with any event to bring the people in we want and to share the experience together over two continents. Desu, I was asking because you sent some. Oh, now he left. Bow away. Then I give him I tried to give him a voice, and now he's entering for new. Because I asked him what was the impact of our common projects so far, and he wrote back. So I can only quote him. Unfortunately, minimize number of unemployment people. Desu, do you hear us? Now? So now I give the voice to you. Please give me short summary of the impact of our projects in Alem Katema so far.
Can I continue now?
Yes, please. About the impact, the positive impact of our. We talked plenty about the problems, but now he's away. Yeah. So I continue. Increasing the income of the people and government, good job creation, service for the community, political stability, training, experience sharing, motivation, business idea creation. Yeah, he should explain, but now I hand over to someone who was with us in the workshops all over the time, and we already heard plenty of the Ethiopian voices. Joachim, what do you think? Also, you have been part of the whole workshop. You have been part of partly of the the projects we did there, like the textile project, like Nakopa, and with the Ofenmacher you had your own project there. How can you describe the impact of our work there in the field of entrepreneurship?
For me or for Dessalin?
No, for Joachim, please. Dessalin,
I think, first of all, good evening to everybody.
Good evening. Good evening.
I think we were talking about some weaknesses in the past minutes, and I think in all these weaknesses in different areas, in the cobblestones, in the weaver and textile project, and there is a similar thing, and this is it is difficult to make an, let me say, uneducated handicraftsman in Ethiopia a business-oriented person. Probably the step is too far for most of the people. We met there. So we discussed in several meetings without leadership. If you have a group, you cannot assume it works by self-organization. Marketing of the product, product design, reproducible quality in order to create continuous customer satisfaction does not work on a basis of self-organization. Apparently, you need a kind of leadership for the group. And if I think for the cobblestone thing, and if I think for the textile project, I think in both areas this was missing. Yeah, we do not find a structure of let me say masters like we know here in Germany, and a master education. After vocational school comes the master education, and the purpose of this kind of education is you will be able to teach other handicraftsmen, and you will become able to run a business. This doesn't exist in this way in Ethiopia, and to overcome the lack of education by the entrepreneurship training, I think is too far. Is too far. We need to find talented people in the community. We really need to spot them, because without anybody who will be able to lead and organize this kind of this group, like a company, let me say, or a cooperative, it will not be sustainable. It will fade away, and this is what we saw in many examples. So the crucial question is find the talents who can take over leadership on these groups in Alem Katema or anywhere else in developing countries, I'm afraid.
Okay. Joachim, thank you very much for this detailed statement, and but I want to hand over to Friederike, who just tried to leave because I know her back is aching. So sorry for holding you back. But you, as the textile specialist, and you helped on some workshops in the field of textile, especially with creativity workshops. Where do you see, and in the special field of textile, where we were focused in the workshop, where do you see the problems and probably the solutions?
Well, I think it is. I always have two things on my mind, because we have different markets. So if we are talking about the market in Alem Katema and we are talking about the market in Addis, it's actually difficult for me to say which is the right way, because it depends very much on the people on site, because they know it much better. So we need somebody somebody in the market in Addis who's familiar about what is needed, about quality standards, and about what kind of design is needed. So, and the same is for Alem Katema. It was very interesting for me the first time I came, because I was my first step was watching around the market. So I was walking around, and I was looking and talking to the people, and I asked the weavers, and I said, well, interesting design, where did you get this from? And most of them, they were telling, well, it is something we have over years, or they said, well, I looked it up next to my neighbor next to me. So I think there is quite a potential to think in different designs of textiles, but this has to be discussed, either the market in Alem Katema, what is needed, and the market maybe also here in the third step, I mean, or in the fourth step, as one of the later steps, to look on the European market, because this is something completely different. But I think there is a high potential, but I agree to Joachim that, and also to what the other says, to Demeke, that a guidance is very important, and that you need somebody who is kind of leading them and helping them also to believe in what they can do.
Yeah, thank you, Friederike, and I think we do not only think that there is a potential. We know that, because we did.
Yeah.
We together did a creativity competition for weavers and tailors there, and what they produced were really stunning. Yeah. And it was
amazing,
pretty
especially
new,
for the young ones.
And there is not only something, there is a big thing we can, and there is a fundament for future work. Demeke, question to you, because you also talked, you also worked with the weavers and the tailor there. We also had in our workshop last year, we brought in some weavers and tailors, in a video call. Normal people from Alem Katema, never been to a video call before, and we talked to them and asked them for their experience and what they see as their problems and how we can continue our work there. Demeke, are you still with us? Because the next question would be to you. You're in Sweden. there should be no bad internet connection. But there is, unfortunately. Yeah.
Hello, Alex. Hello. Sorry.
Yeah. Nice that you're.
Because my wife was calling from Ethiopia, so this was so urgent. This was so urgent. I couldn't avoid the call, and this is live. So I'm sorry.
No problem. This is live. Did you hear my question? Or,
not exactly, please.
Not exactly, because we were talking about the textile project, and you worked directly with the weavers and tailors there. What is your experience, or how can you describe their problems and their needs, and how can we continue work with them?
Naturally, everyone, as a human being, every person wants to change and wants to grow, and you can't find, and you have to consider every person like this. The problem may be with the strategy and their level of understanding, their confidence, their knowledge, their skill, and something like that. And there is some cultural things there. So when you say something, you cannot detach, you cannot talk about that thing only, because this is an ecosystem. You have to study the total entrepreneurship ecosystem in Alem Katema. This is not only a single thing. So when you, even the problem in Ethiopia, the whole Ethiopia, especially from the intervention of the West, and the training is trying to train and change the individual, detaching from the community and the family. This is a big problem. You can't, when you intervene, you cannot. This is highly collectivist culture, highly dependent, interdependent culture. So you cannot detach the individual from the rest of the system, and try to bring, any behavioral change on that individual only. That's the problem. And one of my study is focusing on that. We have to include the family and some other institutions in order to bring the real change in the community. But mostly we are getting there without, of course, Alex was trying to list down stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders and who are the elements in the ecosystem? So there in the textile, if you are there to go and work with them again, I would like to advise you again to conduct a kind of the specific entrepreneurial ecosystem in Alem Katema, especially for the textile. And if it is for the terrazzo, then you have to conduct that entrepreneurial ecosystem. The ecosystem, the elements, the actors, the institutions, and their interaction and their interdependence. So the individual will be part of that ecosystem. But still, we are going there to look for only that single individual and focusing on that single individual and wishing to bring a big behavioral change. So their problem is, one, even I myself, as an Ethiopian, has a big problem in terms of attitude, no matter how I'm educated this much. So when you go, when you go, far away from Addis, from the center, the problem gets worse. Okay. So typically in Alem Katema, when during the training time, I know I have so many businesses now. I would try to give myself as an example, no matter how I'm just working alone. during the training week, you see them salivating and say that, yeah, this training is good and perfect, but somebody, this institution and somebody, they are not working with that. We have this problem, we have this doubt, we have this concern. They're mentioning so many things, you know. So that means the intervention should not only focus on themselves, on the individual.
Thank you.
We have to see some other, you know, institutions as a system, as an ecosystem. So if you go there, you have to include some other factors there. And don't work on so many individuals there. We have to be selective and focus on role models, so that they can be a good exemplary for them. And once you start working on them, don't stop for some time only. Don't work for some time only. We have to see them when they graduate and when they stood by themselves, mentally, emotionally, and financially. But if we start and, you know, starting is one thing, but, you know, ending up and following up is another thing.
Yeah.
So 2 things are there: follow-up, consistent follow-up, plus considering the whole entrepreneurial ecosystem in Alem Katema is very important.
Okay. Thank you very much, Demeke. And I really hope that we can together continue working there. Abebo, short question to you, something for you to add about the special situation of the weavers and tailors in Alem Katema, their needs and so on. We had them in our workshop. We brought them. I think I remember you translated for them, or maybe you can share a little bit, because we thought, okay, maybe we should just give them more responsibility. And after the session with them, I had the impression they need more leadership. Is this right? Abebo? You don't hear me? Hört ihr mich? Ihr hört mich schon. Nein? Ihr hört mich. Aber, ja, we don't hear Abebo.
Yeah, I was not hearing you. Hello.
Did you hear me?
There was interruption.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Not sure to listen your question.
Just the question, or just a short question. Yeah, I thought we have to give more responsibility to the people. And after talking to the weavers and tailors, I had the impression they need more leadership and more management. Is this right?
Yeah.
Short answer. Tesalin.
Hello, Yakim. Basti.
Yeah.
Basti?
Yes. I'm still here. Or
hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Basti.
Yes, I hear you. We all hear you. But you can't hear me, I think.
እየተሰማኝ አይደለም፣ ይቆራረጣል። ደመቀ
ኦኬ ግን ያንተ በደንብ ስለሚሰማ አንተ ቀጥል። ያንተ በደንብ ይሰማልና ቀጥል።
ልቀጥል? እሺ በቃ ከተሰማ ልቀጥል። ምን እንዳለኝ ግን በደንብ ስላልሰማሁት ነው። ምን እንዳለኝ
በአለም ከተማ ውስጥ የቴክስታይል ያቀደም ስናወራው የነበረው ማኔጀር ወይም ደግሞ ሊደር ያስፈልጋቸዋል ወይ አይነት ነገር ነው። ስለዚህ እነሱ ማኔጅ የሚያደርግ
መጀመሪያ እኔ ያነሳሁት ሐሳብ ነው። ኦፍ ኮርስ እሺ I hope every business needs management. Yeah, under quotation management. it depends of the business, but when you talk about our entrepreneur in Alem Katema, they need their own coach, even from outside or from inside. But from inside, we already tried to have their own coach or their own leaders or managers, but they were not successful. So I heard Joachim's idea before his speech for us. Yeah, a skillful manager or entrepreneur leader is sure it's better than the so-called association, self-leader association. So when you talk about when you come back to Alem Katema situation, of course they are motivated. Relatively, the market situation or the inflation and other side problems is already known, but manager is necessary. In a sense, I'm not sure which kind of manager or in which stream in management or in the field of their skills. I don't know. It needs some time or it needs some discussion. But in general, they need managers. They need coach to lead them in a right way. At least they need manager for some bureaucratic things, for market access, for managing their properties properly. So managers is necessary for the entrepreneur in Alem Katema. So maybe a single manager for a single project is not necessary. If it is not necessary, maybe for the waivers, for the tailors, for the terrazzo, one manager may coach it or may manage it or may support the association or the people who are willing to work with him. This is my idea.
Yeah, thank you, Abebo. Very nice to get your experience about that or your summary. And in frame of the workshop, we also talked to already mentioned, we talked to other people experienced in this field. We talked to a very well-known female entrepreneur in the field of textile with Gerne, and we did a kind of interview for 2 hours about their experience and their international experience. And we also talked to an old serial entrepreneur from Alem Katema. So they are real entrepreneurs, self-motivated entrepreneurs, and we talked to Atto, which means Herr, Atto Tadele, about his entrepreneurship journey. And after talking to that, we also were discussing, okay, what could be the next steps? And maybe, Joachim, you can summarize, because I think we mostly worked on the field of management and so on. Maybe, Joachim, can you do a little summary in what would be our ideas to move forward from now on? Joachim, please, we can't hear you right now.
Okay, now. Yeah, an example by in our last session we used the example of the weavers and the textile in order what's the next step to improve the situation. And as our finding has been reiterated by many in our group. We need some kind of organization, similar like a company. And the question is, which roles do we need to implement? We need at least two for each group. Weavers, tailors, for cobblestones, everywhere a similar situation. We need one who is capable to market, so understanding the market, doing the proper product design, and who is able to give clear jobs, what product, what quality to the team. And a second important role is the person who is able to organize the process of production and to lead the workers, so to give guidance, to educate, and to give guidance to the workers. It doesn't work in self-organization, and this is our finding. So, yeah. These are the two roles that give stability and sustainability of what Demeke said to what the people are doing. But the first step, before you find two persons being able to do the marketing and a sales job and product definition job, and on the other side, to be the master, to give guidance to the production and to the education. You need to have a clear understanding on the potential of the business plan. Before starting into it, entrepreneurship, I doubt, will not come bottom up. You need this doesn't grow. Entrepreneurship comes from good examples, and of course, let me say some methodological basics. And a very simple method is to have a clear business plan. So before I tease people into doing something, and before I'm looking to find a manager and a sales guy, I need to have a business idea. This is our investment in order to be able to launch such kind of project. We cannot give a long-term sustainability to this process. So we need to find the talents in Alem Katema who will be able to do the sales job, to do the managerial jobs and leading the others. The sustainability has to be created by talents to be found on site. But the first step to have a clear business plan is the investment we need to bring into. Yeah? So we need to have a market concept and clearly an economic idea. Can the amount of people live from it if we do it skillfully? Yeah?
So, thank you, Joachim. Thank you very much. And we started to do that, to calculate a business case that's not finished yet, because we are still in discussion with the people in Alem Katema, and also how we can find the managers we need there. But Friederike, can you give us a little insight in the things we're planning right now, or discussing and planning, not finalized yet, in the field of textile? And a short introduction talked about different organizations working there. The Ofenmacher, which are in the business of smoke-free stoven. We have the Partnership Association, which is mostly focused on education of young children in kindergarten, also doing something in the area of health, and a little bit of the business creation, or more or less education at the vocational school. And we have a little association there called SEED, which is specialized on fostering entrepreneurship of young people in Alem Katema. And I think this association now has the lead in the area of textile, and you are a member of this association, and maybe you can give a little impression what we are planning to do.
Sorry, Alex, before that, maybe since we are just summarizing, before Friederike, take your time just to think about, so I don't know how, whether you have raised it or not before, along with the problems in Alem Katema. At the same time, we have to consider the problems maybe with you as a donor, as a project owner. Especially, sometimes I see losing the momentum.
Yeah.
Losing the momentum, so you start something there, then you may lack some kind of focus, plus you may lack some budget, but you have started it there. So again, the people or the users may be there to salivating to start something or something like that. So unless there is, the action and reaction thing, and keeping the momentum to bring the right change, that may be another problem. So first you have to see your capacity, the capacity.
Thank you, thank you very much. Very, very good point. And you and all the audience can see now. Also, we have to work on our side, how we can fulfill what we once offered to do, and sure. Also, we have a structural and organizing subjects to problems to solve. Definitely, and I hope, Deme, you will be a part of that. So, Friederike, maybe some words about some ideas, some plans SEED has in the frame of the textile project right now, and please don't run away.
No, I'm not sure if I got your point. Are we talking about the ideas we have with the market here?
Yes.
Do you mean that, or
First that, and also what we are trying to do in Alem Katema in this year.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that last year, no, I think it was 2 years ago, we had a very amazing workshops. You just talked about it shortly, where we did a kind of competition with the weavers and tailors to see what they developed and to think about who's going to be part in the seed park. I actually think, Basti, you are better in telling us about the main goal of this project, because I came into the project a little bit later. You remember? So I can tell you something about the workshop, and it was that's the only point I want to say. It was quite amazing to see what kind of products came out of this workshop, even from the young ones. So there was a wide range of different ideas, and I actually had this year. I had a kind of I went to a Dritte Weltladen. I don't know. It's a shop where you can sell products, mostly organic products, with from different countries. They sell these products, and I was telling about this project in Alem Katema, and I was showing the pictures and explaining what the people do there, and they were really, really fascinated. And so we were starting to talk about different designs, about products they want to sell in their shop. So we found out by this case that there is a big market also here, but we have to start with the first step in Alem Katema and then in Addis to reach here, because there are different things which are important, like quality standards and also different kind of material, colors, patterns. But it was very good to see that this project could be part also here in Germany. So we have people who are demanding things which are developed in Alem Katema, because of also because of how the design is about the quality, especially the organic cotton and these things. So, Basti, I don't know if I got your question actually, but
yes, in one part, the other part you gave back to me, and as a moderator, it's not the best way to answer my own questions. Yeah, but coming to the product, when we look behind you, there is a product of Alem Katema, for example, and it's a normal product you can buy on the market there, but it's used as a curtain here. Yeah, for example, and also we already have products, and I brought them. For example, here, mobile bag with a typical pattern from Ethiopia. We have keychains here, also with typical patterns, also with untypical ones. Yeah? And for example, we have here. Pillow covers, and what more do we have? Also, we produce for different companies here. Here's a washing glove, a so-called Gabi glove. If you know Ethiopian, know what a Gabi is. This is the Gabi glove produced in Alem Katema. It's a cosmetic glove for cleaning your skin. This is already produced, and we want to continue that. But we already heard we have a lack of leadership and management there, and this is something we have to concentrate now. This is very fundamental, and for that sure, we need seed will need some funding, and as Friederike already mentioned, the third world shop Weltladen in Tutzing already gave a donation, yeah, for management. But as Demeke already mentioned, yeah, only to have money for 3 months paying a manager is not enough. But this leads me to the final question, and unfortunately I already answered my own question a little bit, but I give it to the panel here, because it was the main question of our workshop. Is entrepreneurship a field for development work, or is it the future of development work? Who want to answer? I want some answers from the Ethiopian side, and I also want answers from the German side. Desu, maybe if you didn't, we weren't glad enough to have your comments in the discussion. If you heard us and have the chance to talk to us, please go ahead.
Okay, Steve, for bad connection because I didn't attend the whole sessions. Anyway, let me try to show what will be the next plan. The next plan. Already, Demeke, Frederica, and others listed what will be the next plan. The main problem is the project is already started and announced for the community, but we are late to start because of different problems.
Now he's away. Bad connection. I did not kick him out because he was talking about problems. So you're back, Desu. But my question was, I think we heard plenty of practical problems and things we have to change. We both sides have to change, and we in a learning process we learn from each other. My question was, is fostering entrepreneurship, working on entrepreneurship, a field for development organizations like our partnership community or SEED? What do you think, Desu?
Then what do you want to gain the idea from my side? I already understand what you want to say.
Okay, but the question, just the question to you, is it because many people around the world say, okay, entrepreneurs solve problems by themselves. They don't need a development organization giving them money. Giving money to people to become entrepreneurs is a bad idea or something like this. Or is there a sense of...
Of course, you already mentioned the problem. When you ask it, everybody, all are said, oh, this is a good project. We want to participate in this entrepreneur. Everybody shows their motivation. But when you are coming to the practice, the people are not devoted to start this entrepreneur, because the people said, okay, only to get the money. Everybody expected monies from foreign country. If the German association or organization come to Alem Katema, everybody expect, oh, German has much more money than if I will be participating.
So,
Basti,
yes, Abebo.
I want to strengthen the Saling's idea. First of all, you know, we already listed and talk about so many problems, but for the entrepreneurship. But when you talk about the textile projects, in the beginning, even in the competition, there were, hello, Basti.
We hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay. The problem was that even in the competition time and the entrepreneur competition time, there was a problem. The problems, it's let us, for example, a very smart entrepreneur and well-skilled tailors like Shuangzao competing to beginners like students from the vocational schools, new graduated. It was not fair. And then when you could try to find best entrepreneur, we should categorize them into their status. And then what kind of entrepreneur we need, the top and very skillful, or the beginners, or the medium, or the moderate, or who is interesting to these kinds of projects. Huh? This is the best things. And then when you talk about the last entrepreneurship training and competition, they expect too much money to get from your side. They wish it. So ambitious expectation of money, or this great expectation, or exaggerated expectation from you is not good for the business itself. It's better to arrange our entrepreneurs in their status, in their skills, and even in their backgrounds. And most of the time, the association, it doesn't work for good entrepreneur. Private business is better than association or the so-called cooperative business. I don't know what, it may be bad luck for us. It's people working together, or a cooperative business or the association business was not successful. Since from the last several years, we don't have good stories, or we don't have good practice about this. So even if it's difficult to be a successful business entrepreneur, individual or private entrepreneur is better than association. So think about the kind of entrepreneur, association or cooperative or individual. I think individual will be better. And the other things, it's not easy to market problem for us. It's difficult to introduce the new products for the people. If you are committed to find foreign markets, let us for in Germany, market create in Germany or other European nations, producing materials, good material, it's not a big deal for us because we have potential in skills, we have potential in idea. We can produce different products. The people or the entrepreneur in Alem Katema, textile workers or the weavers, they can produce different prototypes So the problem is one is the kind of association, the kind of organization, individual as well as the association, or the next one is market, and then it's a big thing is another thing is people is wishing getting money by hiring than by selling. So let us, for example, the seed park in Alem Katema, as a corporation, you know, we may hire someone who have good skill, and then we'll give profits from that. Maybe that's my idea. So, of course, the selling side is clear. When you bring any project to Alem Katema, the people Alem Katema, they're expecting us getting ample money like a tree leaf from branches, you know. I think you know the problem. So we need to overcome these kinds of problem. It will be obstacle for other business ideas. It will be obstacle for other foundations. So we need more effort.
Yeah. But
now it's time of beginning for any business idea from my side.
Thank you, Abebo. Very detailed feedback, very practical feedback. Also, still learning from together. Also in this discussion, we discussed it all over and over and over, but we will find a solution. And it's not easy to combine the field of development work and of charity with the field of entrepreneurship. But I still think there should be something overlapping, because also here, when you have entrepreneurs outside, they get venture capital and they get seed phases, and where they tutored and they have their coaches and so on. And I definitely think that these are parts also an NGO, a charity can take over. And yeah, I think we can do that in Alem Katema together with you. So one more time, I gave, as a moderator, gave a question to my own, own answer to my own question. But Demeke, you as a lecturer at different universities, what is your, because the main question of our workshop was if fostering entrepreneurship or becoming an entrepreneur is the future of development work. What would you say?
I think this is a very fundamental question for all of us as a project owner and as an interventionist, especially from the West. And because, you know, in our courses here in Jönköping University here in Sweden, this is entrepreneurship university, maybe #1 entrepreneurship university in terms of research in the world, maybe. At least in Europe, it is #1. So this was one of the question which was raised by one of our friends in the classroom, and it took us almost whole day just discussing about the need for intervention and entrepreneurship in developing countries like Ethiopia. Because there are so many, assumptions about entrepreneurship, and one of the issue that entrepreneurship is not working, especially such kind of intervention is not working in developing countries, it is somehow, if it is demand-driven and supply-driven entrepreneurship is there. Demand-driven means, it's already supplying entrepreneurship, especially when you go with money, when you go with, something to be eaten, then the direction and the diversion will be another thing. So I usually want to focus on giving the fish and teaching the knowledge and the wisdom how to fish.
Mm-hmm.
So we should usually focus on how to fish, not to give the fish. We have to teach them the knowledge, the wisdom, how to fish. So in order to do this as an expert and as a consultant, I would like to raise three things here. One, we have to start entrepreneurship from kindergarten. If we can, from family level, from their childhood. We have to develop the kids from there. Not in showing them kind of money or something, but giving them the concept of entrepreneurship and getting, helping them to show them there are so many, ways of leading life, even a better thing like entrepreneurship. So we have to start from their childhood in Alem Katema. Then we have to continue to some other levels, high school and some other schools. Not in terms of money there. We may get, the passionate, the true entrepreneur from even there. So we have to establish a kind of maybe, I don't know your plan, but it is still, I believe that in preparing the incubation center in Alem Katema. Incubation means someone will come with an idea, it will grow the idea and produce a prototype, then it will graduate with a business plan plus an already commercializable product or service. But still, we are trying to start from the middle and sometimes from the top. But still, we don't have the ground. So that's why sometimes we lose. So it is better to start from the early stage of, you have started kindergarten, it's good. But as Ababa has already said it, most of the users there want us to be employed. And this is a problem with the culture. Because someone wants us to respect if that person has an employment contract from some other organization, because it is seen as a guarantee and an insurance for the person, rather than starting his own business.
Yeah.
And so again, we have to work on the culture, the communities. So it all starts from the childhood, I think. Not from, once someone has grown and like the group in the second group in the terrazzo business. They have already lost their momentum. They have already lost their passion, but they need the money maybe for their, daily consumption of that thing, the drug or something. So I don't know. Plus high school, as I say, so we need to contextualize entrepreneurship in Alem Katema. One of the issues in academics nowadays is that this Western or the Silicon Valley type of standardized entrepreneurship things are not working in developing countries, especially in Sub-Saharan Africa, especially in Africa. So we have to study the specific entrepreneur things and contextualize everything to Alem Katema. Mm-hmm. So we have to see the value of the community, what the community values. Mm-hmm. What is the focus and what is the importance and what is the perception and all of things in the community, among the community. So we have to start from there. It is usually called demand-driven entrepreneurship. Demand-driven means starting from the person who really wants this type of, this is about even marketing. So starting from the need and the wants of the customer. So I think the issue is, so if you are there to avail yourself again in Alem Katema, we better not talk about money. That's a problem. Plus, there is a big problem in the selection process. I've seen the problem is just a selection process, like, I don't know. Of course, we are not good in working, together, but we are best at eating together. It is our culture. You know it already when you are there in Alem Katema. But still, we can use our, the teamwork and the synergy there by changing the culture and appreciating what we have together when we are eating together, and still we can use it as when we work together. But we have seen in the first terrazzo business, there was, of course, the number was not good, but still there are some who are working as a team. They can be taken as a good example. Yeah. Such things are there, but don't forget, please. I really value starting entrepreneurship from childhood and early stage, and it doesn't ask any money, but it is how to fish. Yeah. And showing them, leading them, the users and the kids. That education is one thing, but starting one's own business and being an entrepreneur is another, and maybe the better thing. We can show them. We can just change the behaviors and shape the behaviors and guide them that to consider entrepreneurship as another big alternative rather than being employed. So I took your time. Sorry very much.
Temeke, thank you very much. Petam Amazagnalu.
Thank you. We got good lesson, really.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to take one quote of you, Teme. You said the community there knows to love to gather and eat together. Yeah, now they have to start working together. And this is really, for me, this is a very important sentence there, but also for us. We really have to, also we already started to work together, but we have to learn more about each other, how we understand each other, and what you need, what we need. And I hope our audience here outside and the people who are watching this video in the future enjoyed our discussion. I hope you did not expect a super cool NGO presentation and what we did and what we will do, and now give money and buy the final solution for all the problems of the world. We don't have it. We are concentrated in the problems in Alem Katema. We are working on that. We are working together with the people of Alem Katema, and we don't know better here because we are white and maybe read one book more than not as Temeke. I think I read 10 less than him, but maybe I don't know. Or the people, the weavers and tailors are not as well educated as we are. This is not the case. They have their experience, we have our experience. Putting it together and understanding each other, I think we can, and working together, we can find solutions, yeah? Or try to find solutions and be the change that we want to see. These are my final words. I thank you very much to our panelists, yeah, for these fruitful discussions, still with new insights, and I thank the audience out there in the internet very much for joining us. We are a little late. Perhaps we'll some left for the Champions League. Maybe I go there for the second half. So now I have a beer with Helmut, and you saw this was global learning at its best. Yeah, we saw internet problems. We saw telephone calls to bring someone in the global community. We see don't understanding each other because we both need the transmitter language of English, because our Amharic is not good enough and their German is not good enough. But this is global learning, and this is what we did for half a year last year, and everybody knows here that it will continue and continue with all the people you see. These are no unknown specialists you see here or experts. We all work together. We do what we talk. These are my final words. And if you are interested in our work, then Google Vaterstätte in Alem Katema. You will find the partnership, and the partnership is at the very moment we do a big donation campaign for a third kindergarten, because the partnership is focused on education of young people. But if you are interested in the things we were talking, textile and so on, you also can contact the other people here who are engaged in these entrepreneurship things over the association partnership with Alem Katema. I thank you very much. Do you want to say something else, Helmut? From my side, Denadaru, good night.
Good night.
I hand it over to Helmut.
So,
Thank you.
Sorry. I have to say hi. My friend is here. ደሳለኝና አቤ ስላያችሁ ደስ ብሎኛል በጣም።
ደህና ነህ? እንዴት ነህ ደሜ?
ሰላም ናችሁ?
ደህና ነን።
I'm afraid to say this entrepreneur will start from the childhood. It's very interesting idea.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So let Helmut have the final words.
Thank you, Batam. Thank you.
Alexander Bestle, thank you, Basti. You organized this fruitful panel. Thank you. We will continue like this. I hope the future will be better than today.
Okay, now it's up to me to say the last words. I can tell you that my whole family is using this handy bag. So it goes on, and I thank you for the audience here, and to all our visitors here on our page. I say good night, have a nice evening, and see you next time.
Okay, good night. See you.
Okay,
Bye.
And you're the new keychain.
Have a nice time. Dasu. ሰላም ነው?
ያ
እንዴት አደረ?
በጣም ደህና ነኝ።
ደህና ደሩ። ቻው ቻው።
ቻው።